What does it say? Joy. Okay, you can put it down. It's tiring, huh? You can sit right there. How's that? All right. So joy. El regalo, joy. If you look up this word in the dictionary, what do you think it means? Anybody know? No? It means to delight. To be a follower of Jesus means to be delighted or to enjoy in Him and Him alone. Okay? Delight. That means when you have Jesus in your heart, it's only Him. You don't need anything else, even though we have to have all the things to survive, but God provides us for all that. So you don't need anything else to take His place. In Psalm 16:11 it says, Say in your presence there is a fullness of joy, at your right hand are pleasure forevermore. When we believe in God, He gives us the gift of joy. Now that doesn't mean that life isn't going to be rough. Life is going to be rough. We're going to have rough moments. Every day we go through an obstacle. It could be from very tiny to very big. Look, today, Mana Ana didn't make it to church. Her car left her stranded in the expressway, getting off the ramp. So she could have easily been killed. Another car could have just taken her out. But because she's a believer of God and trusts God more, God is taking care of her. Right? She knows there's a church that's praying for her. So it also says in Hebrew 12:2 says, let us fix our eye on Him, the author and the perfecter of faith, who for the joy set before Him endures the cross, scorning His shame, and sat at the right hand of the throne of God. Jesus knew that he was not come here just to have a happy life. He knew that He was going to suffer. He knew that He was going to endure a pain and what He had to do for us. He was not going to have a happy ending, but He knew that what He did was for a cost. That cost was us, for the love for us. Shepherds, you need to get ready.
And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven.
And in the same region there were shepherds out in the field keeping watch over their flock by night. And an angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were filled with fear, and the angel said to them,
Fear not, for behold, I bring you good news of great joy that will be for all the people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. And there will be a sign for you. You will find a baby wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger.
And suddenly there was a multitude of heavenly hosts praising and saying,
And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Drink to the wine, I got to drink to the old wine.
When the angels went away from them into heaven, the shepherds said to one another,
Let's go over to Bethlehem and see where Stephen has had
happen which the Lord has known to us.
And they went with haste and found Mary and Joseph. And they lying in a manger, and when they saw it, they made known the saying that had been told them concerning this child. And all who heard it wondered at what the shepherds told them. But Mary treasured up all these things, pondering them in her heart. And the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all they had heard and seen, and it has been told to them.
Okay. Mary, you look tired. I understand. You had a long journey. So far, we have seen 3 gifts. What are they?
Wisdom.
Hope, wisdom, and J to the O to the Y? That is joy. Okay. So, now we're going to talk about the last gift. But before we start talking about the last gift, I have a question. I don't want you to answer. Just think about it. Think about it quietly. Ready? The question is this. God loves me because. God loves me because. The answer to that question is, God loves me because He loves me. If you answer any other answer next to God loves me because He loves me, you're wrong. Okay? God simply loves you because He loves you. He has known you before you were even created. He knows about you before you've done anything. As a matter of fact, He knows you before you even met Him. Okay? There is nothing, absolutely nothing that you can do or we can try to do or pretend or say that will separate that love from God for you. You see, the problem is not God. The problem is who? The problem is me. The problem is you. The problem is all of us. God can't be near sin. He's holy. He's perfect. And because He's holy and He's perfect, Adam and Eve, when they sinned, they separated us. They separated themselves from God. What did God have to do in the beginning? Who remembers reading the book of Genesis? Anybody reads the book of Genesis? It says in the book of Genesis that God took them out of the Garden of Eden, put an angel with a flaming sword to guard the entrance to the tree of life. They could not enter back into the Garden of Eden. They were taken out. In other words, it's like when you're in your house and they come and they tell you you need to get out and they throw all your belongings out in the street. That's exactly what happened to Adam and Eve. Because of their sin, it separated us forever from God. But God had a plan. As soon as Adam and Eve sinned, He had the perfect rescue plan. And the perfect rescue plan was who? The little baby Jesus. Such a tiny little thing, grew up to be a man of almost 33, 34 years old. That's all He did. And that was his present to us. we think that God can overlook our sin. Okay, your sin and my sin is no different in front of God, no matter how little it is. He can't overlook it. He can't wait it. Well, maybe your sin is not that bad. We'll just give you a short punishment. No. God says that the punishment for our wages is what? Is death. Okay, so that means that it doesn't matter how little or how big the sin is, it's still sin. In God's presence, it's still sin. Because He's holy, He separated Himself from sin. But because He sinned, because He had a plan, and Jesus was born, that baby came to do the one thing that no man could do. God took the punishment that was for us and had His Son die on that cross that day, that one time for us. And that is the rescue plan. That we know that we can come to Christ. We can say, forgive me of my sins. And He won't stop loving you. He forgives you. Now, in today's day, even today, there are people out there who find it hard to believe. Well, how could one person just decide to die and for the rest of our lives, that's it. All you have to do is be forgiven of your sin if you ask for forgiveness. They find it hard to believe. They cannot understand how is that possible. But God said that it is. So, have you figured out what that last gift is? Nathan.